failed to go live. Please try again. What is going on? Okay. Work. Some technical difficulties. The camera is on. All that. Everything. So we're live. All right. Sorry for that, everyone. Just a few technical difficulties. Greetings, everyone. This evening, I'm going to bring our camera a little bit closer so you can see everyone. Hi, greetings. For those of you who are tuning in this evening, welcome. Glad you are here. Welcome to class 3. Hey. So for those who were tuning in from last week we did the one-sided mohawk, which I was actually my own model for that. So this is actually the remnants of my one-sided mohawk. You can see a little bit on my side, the flat twist, and then this is an old flat twist out. So I have a little bit of body to it. But this is the style from last week for those who wanted to kind of see what was going on. Okay. So today we have a model. We have our model Sonia here. Sonia has been Sister Lock for about a year, and she kind of is thinking like, I want to branch out. I want to try to do some styles. So she's going to be our model for rod sets. So we're going to do a lot of talking about rod sets today. So rod sets is kind of a general term that I use for like flexi rods, for perm rods, and then you also have other curling apparatuses. But tonight we're mainly going to focus on the perm rods and the flexi rods. So first, what I'm going to do before I start styling her hair, I am going to show both tools and talk a little bit about the differences between the two. So I have my tools up here on top of my shelf. Okay. I'm just going to show you both. So what I have here in front of the camera right now, this is a flexi rod. It is a foam roller that is bendable. You can see I can bend it all kinds of ways. You see, I can bend it and then still it can revert back to its straight shape. It is, because it's a foam roller, it's semi-soft, so they're actually comfortable to sleep in. So this is one roller that can be comfortable to sleep in, but give you kind of a nice big bouncy kind of curl. So these are the flexi rods. They come in different sizes. This one is the purple one. So one resulting from this kind of flexi rod, the curl's probably going to be pretty big and pretty bouncy. If you want something tighter, just reaching up here for another box of perm rods. So I'll put these side by side with one another. So you see, blue is about half the size of the purple. So obviously this one is going to give you a little bit tighter of a curl. So I've used both on my hair. If I'm looking for something that isn't going to last that long, I might go with this versus something like the blue. So these are the flexi rods, but really flexible, really easy to use. You just kind of bend it as you've wrapped it up to your scalp. So I'm going to put away my flexi rods because we're not going to do those today. If you tuned into class 2, this flat twist out that I did, the ends were set on a flexi rod. So if you're looking to see more like styling with those, you can tune into that video from last week. However, these are just one example of perm rods. See? All right, so perm rods. So perm rod sets I love for short hair. You know, so shorter hair that's like shoulder length and above, perm rods are super awesome. I like perm rods because they can give a little bit tighter of a curl. So if you're wanting your like style to last a while, perm rods would be a very good look. Actually, one of our regular clients, Ari, she was our most recent bride that we did. And just to let you know a little bit about the lastability of perm rod sets. So she came in like on a Tuesday to get her hairstyle for her wedding. And then her wedding was actually on Sunday, and she still had a good bit of curl to her hair. She kind of has like a short, shaggy kind of in between kind of look going on. So kind of that graduated layered look, but it's still kind of short. So it worked really well with her hair. So it was able to hold up all the way from Tuesday into Sunday of the following week. And her hair was still able to look nice for her wedding out of town. She got married in Michigan. So yeah, I'm here in Maryland. So yeah, no, wasn't going all the way up there. So let's get into this perm rod set with Sonia here. So let's talk about what we're going to need. So I'm going to get out a few things, and then we'll get this baby rocking and rolling. So as always, if your hair is more mature, you can use a setting foam. One of my favorite setting foams of choice here is the Jane Carter Wrap and Roll. So this is always a good choice if your hair has been sister locked for a year or more for curly styles. If your hair has not been locked for that long, you want to pick up your water spray bottle and keep it moving. That is all. You don't want to put too much product on your hair. Now, granted, it will not last as long. I'm not going to sell you any stories on that. It definitely will not. However, that's really what's going to be best for your hair at this point. Okay? So we need that. Obviously, we need perm rods. Okay? And I have all different sizes and shapes here, so I will pick and choose based on the length of her hair. And then a water spray bottle. I believe right before I was getting set up, mine went a rolling. Let me see here. Sorry guys, just looking for my water spray bottle. Flew all the way on the other side of the room. So here, in this spray bottle, all I have is water, just water. So why the water spray bottle? You're already using setting foam, Lauren. Why do you need the water spray bottle? So the water spray bottle is to make sure that we can re-moisturize Sonia's hair when we need to, just based on the fact that when you do a rod set, it does need to be wet. Because if you want the curl to set in, it needs to be wet. So water bottle around to re-moisturize, okay? And that's what we need in order to do a perm rod set. So, in terms of sizing, two things that matter a lot with perm rod sets, okay? One thing that matters is size of rod, because that's going to determine how tight or how loose the curl is, and then how much hair you're putting on that one perm rod. More hair per perm rod, you're gonna have a kind of big look. You put less rods per perm rod, you're gonna have a lot of kind of big curl, kind of almost like a curly fro kind of action. Okay, so those are two things to think about when you're doing something like a perm rod set. Okay, so I am going to get started in the back. I'm going to get started in the lower back here. So when I do this on myself at home, like if I was doing a rod set, I definitely would want to do, I typically start from the front. Like if I'm doing my own rod set on myself at home, I start from the front and then work my way back. Literally it is because I want to start what's easiest for my arms and then go from there. So another thing that I'm using, ponytail holder. Say that? Ponytail holder. Why? Keep the other hair out the way. That is all. That is all. So, in talking a little bit about Sonia's hair here. So with Sonia's hair, her hair is doing really well for a year. However, in all reality, looking at what her hair looks like along the entire lock, her ends are still kind of loose. Not all of them, but on some of them. So with something like that, you just kind of definitely want to be careful. So I have my setting foam. We just washed her hair prior to doing this perm rod set. So her hair is still pretty damp. So like I said, as needed, I will then add back in. So in terms of my sizing choice for Sonia, one thing Sonia told me before we got started was she kind of liked the lock loops, which are another foam roller that look almost like a key, you know, where you tuck the end into that circled part. And she kind of likes that looser curl. So something tight, but not too tight because her hair is short. And she kind of wants to show off her length. So I'm actually going to go with the peach perm rods. And the reason why I want to go with that is because I want to give her some type of curl that she's going to be happy with. So what I'm doing is I'm taking small sections of locks here and I'm rolling it up. I'm going to do these first two so you can see what it should look like in terms of positioning. Then I'm going to spin Sonia around so you can really see what I'm doing back here. So just getting her started, and then I'll spin her around so you can see what it is that's going on. All right, I'm going to spin Sonia around so you guys can see the back of her head. Ta-da! All right, so in terms of sizing, here we are. These are the peach perm rods. I like them. They will make the curls not super tight, but not super loose either. It'll give her a little bit of a curl, but that's okay based on what she said that she likes. So what I'm going to do, I tend to, I guess, make a parting that is like, I guess, kind of like a horizontal shape. So you'll kind of see that it looks almost like in the shape of a rectangle. I'm not really counting the number of locks that I'm putting in, but as you can see, this isn't that many locks that I'm putting on the perm rod. I have my setting foam. I'm going to just give a pump or two. Maybe another one. Because I was very light with my fingers. Want to make sure that I'm coating the strand. Then I'm going to take my perm rod. I'm going to bring it down here to the ends. And I'm going to slowly roll it up on an angle. If you want kind of the spiral look, you definitely want to be able to roll it on an angle. It started to slip a little bit, so I'm going to start again. So as you see, I'm slowly rolling it up on the angle. The short one, I'm going to wrap it around and keep rolling. The cool thing about perm rods is they have this groove that you can fit the string into and then snap it on up top. So you always know which direction is going to hold it firmly in place. So again, I'm going to take another section. I have my setting foam again. About 2 or 3 pumps. Spread that setting foam along the section, making sure that everything is coated. I'm going to reach into my perm rod box. Grab out another peach perm rod. Set it out on an angle. And roll it up. This time I'm rolling a little slower. I'm rolling it a little bit slower because she has a lot of layers, She was telling me before, Sonia was telling us before we got started tonight that she originally had her hair cut into a bob, and based on how her hair grew out, and we all know that hair doesn't grow evenly, just straight across. So by her hair growing out, she kind of has a little bit of a layered look. To me, I like layers. Layers are cool. Layers will definitely change how someone's hair falls. So to me, layers can be a good thing. I'm going to do another one just so you could see what's going on back here. Again, getting the section wet. Hold it out at an angle. And then roll it up. Got a little friend who's trying to poke out there. So we'll just make sure he gets tucked back in. Okay. So this was one of my favorite styles. When my hair was short, I stayed with a perm rod set. Perm rods were where it was at, if you asked me. Some of my favorite early pictures of my hair definitely were something that involved perm rod sets. So just like, let's talk a little bit deeper about perm rods, and let's talk about remixes on a classic favorite. Okay, so just like trying to think in terms of different ways that we look at something classic and change it into something else, perm rods really are no different. So I'm gonna move out the camera so you can actually see my face a little bit as I'm talking, so it doesn't look like a half person talking. One way that you could remix this perm rod set is you could part your hair in a few different ponytails. A lot of ladies will do like 4 and do the perm rod set that way. How it will look different than what we're doing with Sonia is the curls mainly going to be on the end. So that does give it a different kind of look. So that would be one option. You could do a different remix on the perm rod set. Another remix on the perm rod set is you could, for those of you who have short sister locks, you could then remix this by making this into a curly mohawk. You could either perm rod your whole head and do the mohawk that way, or for some people, they may also, they will start off with the mohawk style, and then instead of flat twisting like I did with my section here, they'll do perm rods. That's kind of a fun option that someone with short hair has, that is something that realistically, it's not as realistic for me to do. When I do my perm rod sets, they kind of end up something like this, where mainly my curl is on the end. So again, just wrapping it around, bringing it up and in. So one thing I'm starting to notice is, so Sonia's layers, as I keep going further up, they aren't as long as maybe these layers down in the back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of do some other sizes here in the middle. If her hair is not long enough for the peach. So again, I just switched over to the white for some of these shorter layers that are kind of right here. And then parting another section. Parting another section. Making sure that I'm getting the setting foam on there. And then just rolling it on up. I feel like this section is just a little too big. So I'm just gonna pull some of those locks away and just use this. Some of her ends right here feel a little bit thicker. So if I would have had all of those locks on the same perm rod, probably wouldn't have worked. I probably would have gotten a looser curl with that section. Always happens that always there's a bundle or two still hiding after you think you've taken down all your braiding and banding sections. So for those who might be curious, well, what did you wash Sonia's hair with? So her and I were talking when she was in the shampoo bowl, and I was talking about how, because she's at that year mark, you know, we have a couple of different options that can be available to her in order for her to use a different shampoo. Still good old Sister Lock products. However, just a different one of the shampoos that are offered by the line. So at about a year, you could experiment and look at some of those other shampoos that Sister Locks offers. So there are two. There is the Salon shampoo, and then there is the green tea shampoo. So which is which and who should use what? Great question. So in terms of who should use what, you have tightly coiled hair, you definitely want to be able to use the green tea shampoo. If you have looser curl pattern, just like our model here, Sonia, you definitely want to go with the Salon shampoo. So that's actually what I shampooed her hair with. I used the Sister Locks Salon shampoo. Again, it is designed for looser curl patterns. So that was my choice for her hair this evening. In terms of feedback from Sonia here, she said that her hair felt like it was nice and clean. She said, which I've heard from a lot of clients, that she feels like my hair really isn't getting that clean when she was using the starter shampoo. I've heard that from a lot of clients. A lot of clients just didn't feel like their hair was getting clean enough. So they switched to something else. My response to that is I say, as best as you can, try to stick it out with the Sister Locks starter shampoo. The reason why is because the way the shampoo was formulated by Dr. Joanne Cornwell, who is the creator of Sister Locks, it is the best thing that you have that is able to, it's the best thing that you have to be able to help bind your hair together, be able to bind your hair together. That's what the starter shampoo is formulated to do. And that's, of course, what you want to do when you're new and you're starting out with your Sister Locks. Okay, so I recommend using the starter shampoo for at least a year before transitioning to one of the other Sister Locks shampoos. All right, so we got a good bit going on here. Depending on the size of someone's head, and this is just being realistic, based on the size of someone's head, is gonna, and also kind of surface area in terms of their locks, is gonna determine how quick or not quick something like a perm rod set is going to go. With Sonia's hair, I think in general, I'd say she kind of has a smallish head. That, you know, I'm coming through this perm rod set pretty quickly. So she has a pretty easy head to be able to do this on. Me personally, I think I have a pretty large head. So when I was much younger in my journey and I did these a lot, it took a while to roll it up. Just saying, just saying. Feel like you can talk about yourself, right? So that's kind of my caveat when it comes to the shampoos that Sister Locks offers. I think as a consultant, one of the exciting things to see with any client really who has Sister Locks is to see how their hair changes over time and how it goes through all of those different stages of locking. You know, right now, I guess I started someone's new Sister Lock journey just a week ago. Actually, it was a week ago yesterday I started her locks. And then there is you know, but then I have clients who have had sister locks for many years. I did a retightening on someone yesterday who has had sister locks for the last 6 years, and she was a transfer client. Um, but seeing someone's hair go from that, you know, install day, like, oh my goodness, what did I just do to myself? I don't know about this, to seeing their hair start to bud, to seeing their hair start to more and more look like locks. It really is an exciting transformation to really see on someone. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I have a couple of clients coming up on their kind of 1 year anniversary. So that's pretty exciting. And you can see in here, Sonia was telling me that her consultant split up a couple of her locks. So she has like some little babies in here. And then she has, you know, kind of the rest of her length typically as she would have it. So with that, I'm just going to try to wrap those around whatever section that they belong with. And just so you can know, how is Sonia's hair still feeling? Her hair still is retaining still a good bit of water at this point. So I haven't had the need to pull out my spray bottle and re-moisturize. Everyone's hair porosity in terms of how does their hair absorb water is going to be different. In terms of Sonia's hair porosity, I'm going to guesstimate that she is probably either average or on the low side of porosity. The reason why I would know that or guesstimate that is the fact that her hair is still wet. You know, if I look at the time, I'm just gonna, so it's 8:33. We started the shampoo process exactly an hour ago. It was about 7:35 when I got her into the shampoo bowl. The fact that her hair is still damp would suggest to me that her hair is low porosity. So would suggest that, I'm sorry, I misspoke. It would suggest that actually her hair is high porosity. The fact that it can absorb a lot of water and kind of hold it there. So like how long it kind of takes your hair to dry, the longer that it naturally takes your hair to dry without any added heat source, that is going to be determined whether you're high porosity or low porosity. Myself, I would probably say I fall somewhere in the middle. I don't feel like my hair stays super, super wet for long, but it's not dry in 5 minutes either. So, you know, it kind of just depends. I just get into her crown here. And then I'm going to spin her around in a little bit just so you guys can start to see what I'm going to do a little different as I'm getting now towards the front. Number one, I'm going to be changing the direction I'm rolling. Why would I want to do that? You've been going this way all this time. Why switch it up now, Lauren? Good question. So the reason why I want to switch it up is because however you roll the hair, that's the direction in which it is going to fall once all this is all said and done and the hair is dry. So with that being said, if I kept rolling everything all in the same direction, based on the rationale I just gave, that would mean that all the curls would fall back this way. I actually like that she has some different layered sections. So I actually want some of these to fall towards her face. I think that looks really, it gives it a really nice look with sister locks. So that's what I want to do with this perm rod style. All right. So yes, we are getting towards the top. Yes, ma'am. And seeing how much progress we've made since the camera has been rolling, you know, this really has gone by rather quickly, I would say. Just kind of digging around for my white ones. Don't mind me. Just digging around for more white perm rods. I'm gonna bring some of my perm rods over here to my small table. All right. That's rolling up another section. Okay. So I think I am going to try to roll about this part here that I've kind of separated towards the back before I move Sonia back around to the front. Yeah. So I feel like the big buzz in the DMV as of late has been about the African American History Museum. Everybody's talking about it. Some people are even calling it the Blacksonian, which I think is so cool. I would say that if you're close to the DC area, definitely take a chance and an opportunity to go see it. There are actually some things about hair in the Blacksonian or the African American History Museum, the Smithsonian downtown. A couple of my girlfriends have already had a chance to go. I will be going on February 6th. I'm so excited. Yeah, I was one of those people. Yeah, I was that girl who wasn't really so quick on the ball to get my ticket situation together. But I'm going to be thankful that I was able to get in it all, right? Be thankful for what you can get. So, looking forward to that. I thought it would be pretty cool to go Black History Month. So, what not better to go see the African American History Museum. I believe there is a lot of good stuff on the rich history of Black hair, which, you know, obviously, we've done a lot of great things and made a lot of cool inventions in the time, all the way from slavery time up until now. It's kind of moving around on the other side of Sonia here. I am excited about checking that out in February. Just rolling it around, rolling it around. So here, as I'm on this side, I'm just starting to kind of change my direction. There's one down here that I missed. And that's okay if that happens. You can either take one section down and do it, or you can just kind of roll it up so it can be tucked away. So I'm just gonna roll it on up so that it is up in there and out of the way. Just make it a little bit firmer. Try to get in there and get it close to the scalp. All right, so now I'm gonna spin Sonia around to the front again. Come around here to the front. You can see Sonia's pretty face. All right, see all these cute, fun layers she has. I'm just gonna reach back across, grab my rods again. It's very different when you're filming yourself doing all this. Okay, so let's bring some of this hair to the side so that they fall down, and then we're going to be bringing some of these beautiful short layers to the front of her face. So now, as I'm kind of on the side of Sonia's hair, the hair is kind of coming right out at this point, if you saw where I was just pointing. So as I continue to rod, kind of coming out from an angle from the side, but same concept, where I'm bringing it in on an angle and rolling it up. I'm just changing my direction a little bit. So as I'm starting to come around by her ear, that's also a good landmark to think about when you want to kind of start rolling more to the side versus just straight back. I'm getting down around her ears. So instead of having the curls come back this way towards the back of her head, it's just going to kind of fall nicely to the side. So just bringing these down to the side. And I do, before our session is over and I finish rolling up the rest of her hair, just want to check my time. So we have about 15 more minutes. I do want to show you some of how I'm rolling to the front. So I'm actually going to skip around to the front just so you can see how that is done. And then Sonia and I will just have a few more to finish up once we're off camera. Okay? So for these that I want to bring to the front towards her face, so you see, I'm holding it out here. So I'm holding the hair towards the front of her face. I'm starting here at the end, and I'm going to roll again on a slant, like so. I'm also going to do that with these kind of side pieces. Going to kind of hold out towards her face and then roll it in. As these pieces are a little bit shorter than where I just was, I'm going to go just a little bit smaller with the gray ones. just so we have a decent amount of curl. And it's a little bit differently. Just roll it in and roll it towards her face. Again, the direction that you roll in, that's what's going to determine how it falls. That's how it's going to determine how it falls. So with these, I want to be able to roll it towards her face. Some nice spiral curl action from this. Some nice curls with this. So let's talk some real talk in terms of, okay, so we're doing this style, great, Lauren, but how long is this going to last? Good question, because of course we always want to know how long are we going to be able to get it to last. It's going to depend on how well you take care of your perm rod set. Me personally, what I would recommend that, you know, even if you're just going to lay on the couch for a few minutes, I would suggest putting your bonnet back on. So in order to take care of a style like this, sleeping with a satin bonnet is good, and just fluff up and go. That is it. That is all you need to do for a style like this. With protecting it, making sure that when you're laying down, you're covering your hair and all that type of thing, you could easily get 2+ weeks out of this style. If your hair is really short and you set your curls kind of tight, you might even be able to stretch this to 3 weeks. One caveat I will say is that if you are a queen workout girl, yeah, no ma'am, no, this is not going to last that long. Just like with many other curly styles, if you are an avid workout diva, curls are just not going to last as long for you. A lot of times women, we do sweat in our hair or can sweat in our hair, which kind of ruins that effect of the curls in terms of that lasting power. But if you're not that active in terms of your kind of daily routine, you could easily get 2 to 3 weeks out of this style. One thing I like about perm rod sets is as it gets old, it changes, it morphs. You can switch it into something else. So this gets old, she could just pin one side up and the other side is down and curly. She could turn it into a mohawk. If the sides get kind of flat a little too quickly, turn it into a mohawk. Completely new style. In terms of if you are one of the creative ones and you have some skills in the head wrapping game, if your bang looks really good, but the rest is starting to fall a little flat, bring the hair out in the front to create a little curly bang, and then head wrap the rest. Another kind of double bonus with the head wrap is that as our colder temperatures are here for the fall and the winter, for those who live in those kinds of climates, it can also double as some protection from that cold air and be able to help your hair retain a little bit more moisture by keeping it covered. I love me some head wraps. Head wraps are awesome, especially if you find a nice funky one with a lot of fun patterns. Something like that is a lot of fun. So those are just some things to think about in terms of as your perm rod set gets old. Here are some things that you can do with that. So for those of you who have already invested in the class, that is totally awesome. One of the upsells that you may have seen after your purchase of the class is the benefit of having your one-on-one personal session with me. If you live in the DMV, this session can be in person. However, if you don't, obviously this session would be through some type of online format like Skype, where one of the styles from this program, if you wanted to kind of troubleshoot, you know, I'm having a little trouble with really getting the hang of this perm rod set. Or, you know what, Lauren, I really want to try the mohawk again, but I'm just not, I don't know. I did something and it just didn't turn out right. You can book a one-on-one session with me as an upsell, and we can talk through that. Okay, just to refresh your memory a little bit, the upsell, the one-on-one session, it is a total investment, additional investment of $75 in order to schedule your one-on-one session. They can either be scheduled directly with my assistant, Lana, or you can get on my calendar after you have scheduled the upsell of the one-on-one session. If you want to reach out to my assistant, you can always reach her at assistant@lockspiration.com. So we are getting ready to wrap up this session, guys. So this was just a little bit of a tutorial on the rod sets. Rod sets can be fun. I do think that some rod sets, more the flexi rods, can be done on longer hair. But for short hair, perm rod sets are where it is at. This is everything. So if you're interested in kind of more connecting with me, getting to know a little bit more about Lockspiration, totally cool. Lockspiration Natural Hair Salon, we are located in Laurel, Maryland, which is a little bit north of Beltsville. We're near also College Park. We're not too far from people who might live in like Hanover and Odenton and all that. So we're kind of centrally located in Maryland. And at our salon, we do offer full sister lock services, everything ranging from installation to sister lock styling services, to groomings, to retightenings, new clients, transfer clients, all that type of good stuff. We do service here at the salon. I definitely thank each and every one of you for tuning in this evening to our class and learning more about the perm rod set. If you have questions about this and you kind of need a little bit more tutorial and information, feel free to reach out to me. I can be reached at info@Lockspiration, or you can email me directly at classes@lockspiration.com. And we definitely want to thank Sonia as our model this evening. She said, I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone, Lauren. You know, I never ventured out here to Maryland. She came all the way out from Virginia, even though it's next door. You know, sometimes truly Maryland and Virginia are two different worlds apart. So I really appreciate Sonia for willing to step out her comfort zone and come here and join us here for our videotaping. It was a wonderful, wonderful class tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and enjoyed being able to participate via live streaming. And let's tune in for next week. Next week, we're going to have some real fun because we're going to be talking about pipe cleaners, y'all. Woo-hoo. That is definitely a longer hairstyle. So I would say if your hair is like sitting on your shoulders, not really shoulder length, but it kind of needs to be a little bit longer because pipe cleaners do give a pretty tight curl. But we'll learn more about that next week. So until then, guys, I look forward to seeing you next week. We just have a few more locks here to rod up, and then that's it. So thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye-bye. What are we doing?